Welcome to this comprehensive tutorial on control structures in Python. The second control structure we are going to look at is the for loop. It allows you to iterate over a sequence of items such as a list or a string. The syntax is as follows. We use the keyword for, then we write the item in sequence, and then we write a piece of code that you would like to execute on each item in that sequence. We can look at this in Jupyter Notebook. To demonstrate how to use for loops in Python, we can use several examples. And the first example I'm going to use is how to loop over a list. Suppose that we have our list called my list and has the numbers 1, 2, all the way to 4. And it's a list because it's enclosed in square brackets. Suppose now we wanted to loop over, or rather we wanted to print out 1, 2, 3, 4 in that list. Now, what we do, we use a for loop. And to use a for loop, we can say for items in my list. What do you want to do? You want to print the items in that list. So what this will do, I'll go to that list, and for the items can be anything inside that bracket. So for each item in that list, print that item. So if I execute this, you get 1, 2, 3, 4. So came here, took that item, which is 1, printed it out, then looped over to the next item and printed it out all the way to the last one. So that's one example how to loop over a list. You can also use loops, for loop to loop over a string. So suppose that's our comment. It's good to add some comments. Suppose we had a string called my string, and the string is maybe hello world, maybe exclamation. And now we wanted to loop over this piece of text or string. So here we use the same thing. You can say all the characters in that word are called char. Each is called char. You can call it anything. You can say it's X, I, whatever you want to call it. But in this case, I say for the characters in our string, what do you want to do to them? We want to print our individual character called char. So if you go ahead and print that out, we get hello world. So a print on individual lines. And that's another example. Suppose now, instead of string, we wanted to print out numbers, maybe between 1 and 100. There are several ways you can do that, but the best one you can do is loop over a range, a specific range. So this function here, range, it just says the range. If you put a number maybe like 5 here, what this will do is just in Python will understand what you mean. It's numbers from 0 to 5. So we can loop over that range from 0 to 5. And we can say for I representing the integers between 0 and 5. So we say I in, then we use the function range and say we want to print up to 5. Let's say something like that. And then we use colon at the end and then hit enter. And please note this indentation. If you just put here and hit enter, it will automatically create you proper indentation. So you have to hit enter while your cursor is immediately after the colon. If you click enter, you can now write the piece of code you want to write here. So you can say print, maybe we print our items which are i's. So it's I from 0 to 5. If I print this out, we get 0, 1, 2, all the way to 4. And the reason we are printing it's like we are printing from 0 to index. So we don't print out the fifth option. We are printing 5 elements, 5 items beginning from 0. So basically we printed out 0 to 4. There are 5 in numbers. So it's like we are printing out a range of 5 numbers. If we can change this to 10 and execute that, we get 0 to 9. So here you specify the number of numbers that you want to print out. If it's 100, it's going to print out 0 to 99 because Python starts counting from 0. That's why it's doing that. And then also we can loop over another data type like Python dictionaries. And that's a very good example, in fact, looping over a dictionary. Suppose now you had a dictionary called myDict and this is the key and the value. It has several key values pairs. And just a recap, for dictionary, the key and the value are separated with comma, and those pairs are separated by commas. So suppose now you wanted to loop over this and get the items in that dictionary. So what we do, we use a for loop, and in that for loop, we have to specify two things. So it's for, then we want to print out the key and value in that dictionary. So there's one function that's applicable for dictionaries called items function. And so here you want to call your function, which is my dict dot items, and then you open and close the parentheses and no arguments in there. Don't add any argument inside the brackets, the parentheses, and hit enter. Make sure that your cursor was right after the colon so that when you hit enter, you get proper indentation. And what do you want to do? You want to print whatever you got here, the key and the value. And so we print key, comma, value. So we can go ahead and execute that. And what we get the key and the values printed out one at a time. So what it did, it came here, looped for items for key and values, key and value in the first instance, it just printed it out there. Then it looped to the second pair of key and value and printed out banana and 2, key and value basically, all the way. Even if you had 100, that's the same loop. It's gonna loop to all the key value pairs. Hope that is clear. And we can also do something else with them. We can also loop for the values. For the dictionary, can also get the values alone. You have our dictionary. Suppose now you only wanted to get the values. You can do that. And instead of items here, you have values. And then here, you have value and execute. So you get the values 1, 2, 3, 4. Suppose you wanted maybe the keys alone. So if you wanted the keys, you change this to key and then these to keys. Those are just methods that you can use and then print out the key. If you print that out, you get banana, apple, banana, orange. So basically you just printed out the keys. You can basically do most things with the for loop. Yeah, so hopefully everything is clear. You can play with all these examples and make sure that you're typing them out, because that's the only way you can learn how to code well. So that's it for the for loop. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Please also do remember to subscribe, share, and like my videos.